Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up. As you can see here, S&P is up about 0.8%. However, we did see NASDAQ and the semiconductor getting up quite a bit today. So as you can see, S&P is up 0.8%. We got the NASDAQ 2.2. Semi is up 3.5%. Some of these laggers that actually performed really well last couple days, they're pretty much flat throughout the entire day today. So let's get back to the S&P 500 here and trying to figure out what we can expect for the remainder of this week here. We got 2 more days of trading, right? Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday. So this is today's price section here. As you can see, we gapped up. It looks like that was a 0.5%, 0.6% gap up on the S&P, right? That was the first hour. It looks like there's some fluctuations there. We found some micro-term support in that vicinity. We continued to climb higher in the second hour. Again, a little bit of fluctuation. Found that support, got back up. Third hour, we saw a little bit of follow through to the upside. Fourth hour, a little bit of shooting star. And then fifth hour, we actually lost all the gains we saw pretty much throughout the entire day today. And then on the last hour, we kind of got back up here. So it has been pretty mundane, kind of boring, sideways type of action on the S&P. While we did see tech stocks and semiconductors made a move today. So looking at this here, this gap up from this morning, it's still open as you can see here. So it'll be better for the buyers if they can keep this gap open. I mean, it'll be better for the momentum, but if the gap gets filled, it's probably going to act as support. So in the short term, we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term. As you can see, my short-term moving average, you see that squiggly line here. When it's rising, you want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers here. And then I think yesterday, price got below my short-term moving average, as you can see here. And then acted as resistance all day yesterday. And then it acted as support last few hours, it looks like. So old resistance, new support, coinciding with the gap area. So in the short term of things, let's give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. Let's kind of move out a little bit and see what we can expect here. So coming out here, looking at the kind of a late October and November price action, we talked about that bullish divergence that occurred in late October. We made a move and we started cultivating higher lows here and higher highs. And I think that was important that the market is cultivating that, establishing that uptrend. We saw a big move on Monday. It started fading lower, fill that gap on Tuesday. That's what made it market to get up a little bit, because then once that gap got filled, that acted as support. We saw a slight gap up today, and that's where we're at. So again, even if you're looking at this in this picture, we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers, because the market is continuing to cultivate an uptrend here with the higher highs and higher lows. Let's go to the midterm. So when you go to midterm, and so when you look at the midterm, we can see that this was important pivot right here, because from here, that's what we saw, that decline that we witnessed in late October, second half of the October here, right? And that was election week, right? And we're holding a lot of these gains, and that's a good thing. And again, the most important part about this entire price section here that you see in the last couple of months, we are cultivating higher highs here. That's higher high. And, and even looking at this one here, is you can see right here, that's also higher high measuring from this one. So we took out September high there with this gap up that we saw Monday. And that's always a good thing, because definition of downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. When we saw that lower high here in the midterm, what the bears needed was a lower low. We never got that, right? And that was the important part. And that's what we were analyzing a few weeks ago before I left last week. And as long as the buyers can hold this level at above 320, we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt. We're more neutral in the midterm sense, but we wanted to give benefit of doubt to the buyers just because we were in a long-term bullish with the neutral sense in the midterm. Obviously now things have changed. The sentiment is much more bullish as of today in the midterm. My midterm moving average is rising, right? We're no longer declining, we're rising. So we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the long term. This is my longer term moving average that's slightly rising also. And again, with that, the lows holding there, the neckline, we gotten above it and kind of retesting above it now, holding above that level. So we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term, midterm, and the long term, right? So I think if the bears, at this point, there aren't so much bears can really except the fact that it might be better if the bears can gap it down, potentially turn this into an island top. It's a small gap, so the impact isn't going to be much. If we do see a gap down tomorrow, let's say below 354, right? We see it gapping down 354. There's a good chance that then sellers bring it down to about 350, which is going to be the next gap area here, right? So that's what bears can kind of look, if you're thinking the market is bearish here, that's where you're looking for. However, if we see this thing pricing coming down, just filling it, once the gap gets filled, it's going to act as support. Same thing happened here. That gap got filled, and that's how we saw a little bit of rally here. Buyers, it's a little small gap, but if you want this thing to continue to inch higher, march higher, and gap back up to take these highs, protect this gap area, and because all the momentum is to the upside at this point, we want to continue to favor the buyers. Let's check out that oscillator here real quick. So oscillator, actually, we talked about this support. We actually never found support here, but we actually found support here. And that's important because remember yesterday we talked about how bears wanted to utilize the energy they had left because we were not at oversold vicinity yet, which is the bottom of its band, meaning buyers could have actually brought it down a little more, utilized, because the momentum was down, but for the fact that oscillator didn't come all the way back down and cultivating higher lows here, that tells us that bears are completely losing momentum at this point and letting the buyers, because they can't even bring this all the way back down to the low. You can see right here, mid-October, when we saw that this thing did come all the way down, right? And that was a start of a downtrend. You see this, right? So this is important that when the bears have opportunity, they want to bring the oscillator all the way back down, and then when the bulls bring it up, bring it down again, bring it up, bring it down again. You see how the oscillator never goes back up? You see that? The oscillator does not get back up to the top of its band, but it stops short. It stops short. And I covered this, which I talked about how it's going to favor the bears, especially with the lower highs here, right? Well, something similar is happening, but in an opposite situation here. Basically, bears are bringing it down this time, but not able to bring it all the way down, stopping short, kind of like how bulls did it here. So definitely bulls were weak. And remember, I drew that resistance also. Bulls were weak, not able to bring it all the way back up to the top of its band. It stopped short, gave out, and bears took that advantage. Well, similar thing is happening here. Bears bringing it down. They're weak and not able to come all the way back down. Bulls taking advantage of it, and that oscillator is definitely fully crossed and expanding here to the upside. So not only we have cultivation of higher lows and higher highs in the short term and midterm, not only that we cleared that major pivot there, that swing high from October, middle of October. Not only that, we made new highs, cultivating that higher high, going back here, swing high here, breaking above this. So everything right now says about this market is bullish. And so when everything looks bullish like this, we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. Only thing bears can possibly look forward to is some kind of a shenanigan gap down, some kind of shenanigan sell off, something like that. Because this is a market. Some kind of a wild card can be played. You know what I'm saying? But going into tomorrow, our posture should be bullish, and we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. We'll see how this oscillator plays out because we just crossed today and we have a lot of room to move. That means if buyers are ready to bring this up, they got a lot of energy because buyers rested through this downturn. Because when buyers brought this up, you can see here, and they're starting to get tired here, made a big push, slight bearish divergence, and then came back down. And then by moving it sideways here, I think bulls are rested and then getting ready to bring it back up. I'll come back for you guys tomorrow night. We'll re-examine. We'll go from there. You guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.